guys, it's Stacy. Today I have a couple of bunny cards for Saturday morning makes. Right here I'm going to use some wood stamps from Whippersnappers. I'm just going to show you one of the images. I put my foam mat from my Misty down. I'm taking my ink to my stamp. I prefer that. And I'm inking it up. And make sure you use a juicy ink pad because you've got one shot at this. And then I'm going to stand up, line it up, press it down, and don't let it shift. Don't rock it. I use one hand to hold it steady while I push with the other and then switch. And then I pull that stamp straight up. And there you get a pretty good image. So today's are just some bunny spring cards. And these are for Saturday morning makes. This is an open collaboration that is for any type of crafts or hobbies. There's no themes to it. You just craft. The idea is to create and just get crafty. This is hosted by Jill Norwood. I will leave all of Jill's information down below in the description along with the hashtag and whatnot that you use. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. So I'm going to color this little image up. I've got two different ones that I have, and I'm doing two different colorways. And I'm just working with warm grays here because I want the bunny to appear white. And I'm sorry, I think it's been over 2 weeks since I posted a video. The last video I posted, which was for my craft space, which is in my dining room. If you want to see where I create, go check out the video. I think I cram a lot into a small space that's pretty organized. So for anyone that's a dining room crafter or just wants ideas for a small craft space, go check it out. And I let you into my home. Feels a little odd because it does show almost my entire downstairs floor because it's pretty open. It's an open floor plan. But if you want some ideas or you want to see or just see inside my home, go take a look because I know I'm always curious what people I watch on YouTube, what their craft space looks like, and it just makes me feel welcome. So, and I've been sick. Like, excuse my language, fuck me. This last bug that we had in our home, I'm still getting over, and it's been 2 weeks. So literally after I filmed that craft room space, within the day or two, I just got hit hard. And I ran a fever for 3 days. It was like almost 103. And I was in bed for 3 days straight. And then basically off and on for the next few days. I had my daughter texting me and calling, and I would just text her back. I didn't even want to be on the phone. My throat hurt. My sinuses, it was horrible. And she was getting frustrated. I would text her back and I was like, kiddo, I'm sick. And she was understanding. But after about a week, she told her boyfriend, I'm going to check on my mom. And he started laughing because that's what I do with her. If I haven't heard from her in a few days, I'm like, are you okay? Are you sick? Do you need anything? You know, normally it's fine. But typically we text each other back. And he's like, you're being like your mom. And she says, I'm going over there because we literally live on the same road. So she came over and she's like, what's going on? And I was like, I'm sick because they were sick too. But she's like, it didn't last like that, Mom. I wonder if it was something different. Then my husband came down with it. He had a fever of 104.9. Then our son came down with it and he had a fever that was like 103. So... And it was like we were all back to back. So a few days in, my fever started to break. Then my husband got his. Then a couple days after his, our son got his. So we all must have got sick at around the same time. But I don't know what it was. But sorry, let's get back to the cards. Enough whining. But that's why I've been absent. This bunny here, these colors, these E20s, would be great to color a chocolate bunny. As I was coloring it up, that's all I could see was like the chocolate bunny that you get, you know, at Easter time in your basket. But I think in the end, it doesn't look like a chocolate bunny, but I was like, wow, that would be really great for a chocolate bunny. So And my last one, you saw me color and do some flicks in the grass and then go over it to mute it down. That's why I did that. And then I just took an MFT stencil for the clouds. It's going to be very similar with this one, except it's going to be different colors, and I'm going to do the grass different. And then we're going to assemble the cards. And as you could see in the intro, they were both completely different. And it was because I had to pivot. So with this one, I'm just coloring the lightest color in these greens, and I switched them up a little bit because of the brown. I want them to be a more olive instead of that bright green. And I'm adding this shadow underneath the bunny, and then I'm doing flicks from the side and a little bit down on the bottom, and then I go in with my darker and I do the same thing, and then I'm going to go back over it with my lightest and lighten it up. And this, I think, looks great. It looks, I don't know, I might actually prefer it more than the actual grass that I did. And to be honest, after not crafting for over 2 weeks, it was difficult. Like, I was struggling. I was on the struggle bus for sure. And I think that's tumbled glass ink, distress ink is what I used in the last one. And I'm just going in with a light hand here. And I'm not masking the bunnies. I'm not masking the scene. Normally I would mask the images, but I wanted to show that you can get away with not masking just to add clouds in, because it's so light. And clouds have breaks in them, and they have, deeper tones or, shadows around them. And then I just touch up at that very bottom because I don't want stark white in between the last cloud and the grass. And then I'm going to go and ink the edges, which in the end on this one, it doesn't matter. But what you'll see is like I'm creating a vignette. And when I was inking this up, it got a little heavy-handed, so I had to add more on the edge to make it darker. But like I said, it doesn't matter. And this is just a Sunny Studios frame. And I popped it up on some foam, and then I'm trimming a black mat down for it. I used the waffle flower because it matched up the waffle flower's nesting dies to cut down the image to fit behind that frame. So because I knew I was going to mat it, and it fit perfectly. So, and it allows you to frame up your image. So even if you're not going to do a frame, like you can use those dies, those nesting dies, to take a snippet out of your image to see how you would like how it looks too. And then I just used, that's a Hero Arts stamp and die cut set. And don't worry, I get the little bunny's inner ears. And I'm taking some glossy accents and just putting it on the pads of the feet and the nose. Now, I'm sorry, guys. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So that is some paper from the Dollar Tree, and it's so pretty, and it took ink really well too. And so I just trimmed it down 1/8 of an inch smaller than a 5x7 card, inked up the edges with vintage photo. I did the same with the bunny oval. I cut it out of that heart frame there, and then I went and cut some brown cardstock out of that heart frame, and I just took that vintage photo around the bunny too and inked it up so it looked antiqued. And then I nest them together. I'm going to put it on there, and then now we're going to add glossy accents and all the image, the sentiments and the bling and all that, all the little things that I think take cards to the next level. So that's a Simon Says stamp, like scripty hello. It's like called brush script or something like that. And I cut it out of like a gold cardstock, and then I got some kind of yellowish gems that I have in my stash because I thought it looked well with the little yellow tulips. And then I'm just going to frame out that sentiment. And then I had an afterthought and thought it needed something more. So I dug through my stash, and I have a Spellbinders die set that cuts out a bunch of different foliage that goes in a tea mug, a teacup, and they had these like little tulips that look very similar to those flowers. So I just cut them out of white cardstock, and then I took some Copic markers that were very similar to the color on that pattern paper that's sitting there. And it's finicky. I could have colored the paper first and cut it out. The stems would have been difficult, but like with the leaves, I could have colored first. So do it however you're comfortable. This could be done with inks. I could have used colored cardstock. I wanted the Copic coloring because I didn't want that solid colored cardstock to be as harsh. I wanted this to flow with the Copic, with the coloring of the image. But this is a great way to customize your paper to match your image. And this was finicky. These little tiny images, and I just arranged them how I thought they looked cute. Now, if I had this to do over again, I would have placed my hello up towards the top and nestled the flowers in there, or I would have nestled those flowers underneath my sentiment. But like I said, this is an afterthought, and I was going back and forth and decided I liked it up top better. And I asked my son, that's why you see me do it a couple of times, and as I was showing him, he agreed. He liked it up on the top of it. Then I'm taking some very small thin foam tape, cutting it down to fit behind a couple of those flowers so that they have some dimension. Of course, you got to sparkle it up with some Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen, and I forgot I wasn't recording here either. And I cut that off-white piece of paper down 1/8 of an inch smaller, as well as that was just a scrap from the piece of paper, and I inked it up with the same vintage photo. And then I decided I wanted to come back and add a little bit more to this. Like I said, these were all a work in progress. I just didn't feel like everything was going smoothly, but I think they came out cute. So I just took a die that was in my stash. I think I got it from a D-stash, probably from Crafty Bean from Tina. Hi, Tina, if you're watching. And I thought they were cute, and I cut them out of some white glitter cardstock. And then I'm cutting them down and nestling them in that frame. If I had this thought prior, I would have put them in there first and attached it with the frame, but it works. Then I took just some pink gems from my stash, trying to use what I have, and I'm placing those around so that it frames the sentiment. And I fiddle. I don't know. Do you guys fiddle with your embellishment placement? Sometimes it takes me forever. So here's the finished cards. Isn't he cute? With the little shiny nose and feet. And I thought this one was really pretty. And I love that paper. I wish I could get more. My husband said he's going to go back and take me back so we can look for more. If you enjoyed my video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for spending time with me. Bye.